Good day. This is Global Watch on your digital First Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. I am Abigail Okwade. Myanmar's police opened fire on Tuesday to disperse crowds protesting against a military coup as foreign ministers of neighboring countries prepare to hold talks with the junta in a bid to find a peaceful way out of the crisis. The talks to be held in a video call comes 2 days after the bloodiest day of unrest since the military overthrew Aung San Suu Kyi's elected government on February 1, unleashing anger and mass protests across the country. Singapore's Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan said his counterparts in the Association of South Asian Nations would be frank when they meet by video call on Tuesday and will tell the representatives of Myanmar's junta that they are appalled by the violence. Balakrishnan also said ASEAN will encourage dialogue between Suu Kyi and the generals. ASEAN's effort to engage with Myanmar's military has been criticized by supporters of democracy, with a committee of ousted Myanmar lawmakers declaring the junta a terrorist group and saying ASEAN's engagement would give it legitimacy. The United States President Joe Biden's administration has defended its decision not to apply sanctions on Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the 2018 killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
It is true that we talked about the 76 who were that we made reference of in the context of the Khashoggi ban on Friday. As we said at that time, we're not in a position to detail the identity of those included in that list of 76, nor will we be able to preview those who may be added in the future. But there will certainly be consequences.
The administration's decision not to punish the Crown Prince drew harsh criticism from the publisher of Washington Post, where Khashoggi was a columnist, accusing Biden of breaking his campaign promises to make the Saudi regime pay the price for the killing of Khashoggi. The U.S. Department of State on February 26 put 76 Saudi nationals on a no-travel list, and the Treasury Department imposed financial sanctions on Saudi officials involved in the killing of Khashoggi, but Crown Prince Mohammed Salman was not included. The United States is expected to impose sanctions to punish Russia for the poisoning of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny as early as Tuesday, two sources familiar with the matter said on Monday. The United States was expected to impose sanctions under two executive orders, 1366-1, which was issued after Russia's 2014 invasion of Crimea, but provides broad authorities to target Russian authorities, 13382, issued in 2005 to combat proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and under the Chemical and Biological Weapons Control and Warfare Elimination Act of 1991, said the sources who spoke on condition of anonymity. Both orders left the United States freeze the U.S. assets of those targeted and effectively bar U.S. companies and individuals from dealing with them. The sources said the Biden administration also planned to act under the U.S. Chemical and Biological Weapons Control and Warfare Elimination Act of 1991, which provides a variety of punitive measures. Developments on COVID-19 in the United States and Twitter after the break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Global Watch. The United States must stick to a two-dose strategy for Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID vaccines, top U.S. infection disease official Anthony Fauci told the Washington Post newspaper. Fauci said that delaying a second dose to inoculate more Americans creates risk. He warned that shifting to a single-dose strategy for the vaccines could leave people less protected, enable variants to spread, and possibly boost skepticism among Americans already hesitant to get the shot. He said the science does not support delaying a second dose for those victims, citing research that a two-shot regimen creates enough protection to help fend off variants of the coronavirus that are more transmissible, whereas a single shot could leave Americans at risk from variants such as the one first detected in South Africa. Fauci said on Sunday he was encouraging Americans to accept any of the 3 available COVID vaccines, including the newly approved Johnson & Johnson shots. Twitter says it will label misleading tweets about COVID vaccines and ban users who continue to spread such misinformation. The platform introduced on Monday a strike system that will gradually escalate to a permanent ban after the fifth offending tweet. We believe the strike system will help educate the public on our policies and further reduce the spread of potentially harmful and misleading information on Twitter, particularly for repeated moderate and high severity violations of our rule, said the tech company in a blog post. Twitter users will be notified when a tweet is labeled as misleading or need to be removed for breaking the platform rules, earning a strike according to the company. The second and third strike will each result in the violating account being blocked for 12 hours. With a fourth violation, an account will be sidelined for 7 days. A fifth strike would get accounts permanently suspended, Twitter said. The service also targeted baseless claims about the adverse effects of vaccines, questioning the reality of the pandemic. The social media company late last year began calling on users to remove dangerously misleading COVID-19 claims, including suggestions that vaccines are used to harm or control people. Since then, Twitter has removed more than 8,400 tweets and notified some 11.5 million accounts worldwide about violations of its COVID-19 information rules. You are watching Global News on your digital First Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. Jack Ma loses titles as China's richest man. Former Liverpool forward legend Ian St. John dies at age 22, and more after the break. Thanks for staying tuned. China's plan to dramatically reform Hong Kong's electoral system, expected to be unveiled in a parliamentary session in Beijing, started this week, will upend the territory's political scene, according to more than a dozen politicians from across the spectrum. The measures will be introduced at the annual meeting of the National People's Congress, China's rubber stamp parliament, which starts on Friday, according to media reports. The plan was signaled last week by senior Chinese official Xia Baolong, who said Beijing will introduce systematic changes to only allow what he called patriots to hold public office in Hong Kong. In a full transcript of his remarks published this week by the pro-Beijing Buhinia magazine, Xia did not announce any specifics, but said the plan will likely include changes to how the 70-seat Hong Kong legislature is elected and the composition of a committee that will select Hong Kong's next leader, according to the person briefed on the plan and local media reports. The Hong Kong government said in a statement that it was prioritizing the implementation of the principle of patriots ruling Hong Kong and improving the electoral system, and that it will continue to listen to views on the matter. And in business, Alibaba and the Ant Group founder Jack Ma has lost the title of China's richest man. A list published on Tuesday showed while his empire was put under heavy scrutiny by Chinese regulators. Ma and his families had held the top spot for China's richest in the Hurun Global Rich list in 2020 and 2029, but now trail in fourth place, the latest list showed. His fallout of the top three comes after China's regulator reined in Ant Group and Alibaba on antitrust issues, the Hurun report said. An October 24 speech in which Ma blasted China's regulatory system, leading to the suspension of his Ant Group's $37 billion IPO just days before the fintech giant's public listing. Regulators have seen tightened antitrust scrutiny on the group's tech sector, with Alibaba taking much of the heat. The market regulator launched an official antitrust probe into Alibaba in December. Chinese regulators also begin to tighten their grip on the fintech sector and have asked Ant to fold some of its businesses into a financial holding company to be regulated, just like traditional financial firms. It's indeed a sad day for Liverpool fans and football enthusiasts. Former Liverpool and Scotland forward Ian St. John has died at the age of 82 after a long illness. The St. John's family statement said, and I quote, "It is with a heavy heart that we have to inform you that after a long illness we have lost a husband, father and grandfather. He passed away peacefully with his family at his bedside." End of quote. St. John joined Liverpool from hometown team Motherwell in 1961 for a club record of £37,500 and played 425 games for the Anfield side, scoring 118 goals during the decade of service. He won top flight titles and scored the decisive goal as Liverpool lifted their first FA Cup in 1967. St. John also earned 21 Scotland caps and manage Motherwell and Portsmouth. Premier League champions Liverpool are deeply saddened by the loss of a true Anfield legend, they wrote on their official Twitter handle. And that is it on Global Watch. For more updates, do visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. I am Abigail Okwade. Remain safe.